So stop building people up in y'all minds. Like, that's where y'all be going wrong. Getting a Joe Jack that's on crack and thinking that he gonna be a pastor the next day. Like,
some people have been hooked up because of a mentor, a pastor, or something like that, and they tell
but
them.
I think that's only your story.
Like, what about my old pastor? One time he told me, "Hey, have you ever considered so and so?" Nah, he said, "Pray about it." Okay, cool, yeah, I will. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm definitely gonna do it, Pastor. Got you. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't gotta pray about that one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, nah, that ain't for me. And I've been thinking to this day, I'm like, what if I would have done that?
And I just remember men just behaving differently around me. And the crazy thing is, if you're not secure, you will feel like you're losing the attention of men, because less men broke their necks for me. You know, less men was like, dang, whoa, come here, mama.
This is an Iwebu production.
Period. What's up, y'all? My name is TK.
And my name is Namdi.
And we are the Iwebus. Yes. So welcome, everyone. If this is your first time here, we so totally appreciate you.
Yes.
And if you are a returning family member, we say thank you so much for returning yet again for another pillow talking with the Iwebus. Listen here, we motivate kingdom living in all aspects of life while encouraging you to continuously strive to be all God has called you to be. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, baby, do you want to evolve? Do you want to become all God has called you to be? Well, come on over to the family that's doing it with you. All we ask is that you like, that you comment, that you subscribe, and that you hit that notification bell. Basically, be involved.
Yeah, be
That's
involved.
It.
Listen, it don't cost you nothing
It don't
to
cost
like,
nothing.
subscribe,
Yeah.
Listen, to comment. We want to know what you think about these subjects, man. I love to see the different comments. Sometimes it gives us a point of view that we wasn't even thinking about before.
Yeah,
like, okay.
We'll be
That's
reading
actually a pretty
comments.
good point.
Yeah, we'll be reading comments like, oh yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, I got some.
That's true.
I got some things in the works that will definitely be bringing a little bit more engagement. Eventually here. So please rock with us. Like she said, stay with us. We are going somewhere. Yes.
For sure.
Hey, so we're gonna get into this action-packed show. We got some great topics.
Yeah.
Spicy as usual.
Yeah. Lord,
may
I'll be
cause
scared.
a little bit of social media controversy, baby.
We already have. First and foremost, if y'all have not, if y'all don't follow us on social media, we've been having some viral clips.
First off, follow us on social media.
Yeah.
On everything. You just get into this video at the Iwebus.
Yeah. It's in the description box.
Iwegbus. Yes, it's in the description box below.
Yeah, for sure. But we've been having some viral clips, and the things that we're talking about today, I'm like, babe, you gonna have these women not liking me. Like, they're not gonna like me after this.
Hey, you gotta tell the truth.
I do. It just sucks to kind of feel alone in telling the truth, because we're just in a culture of lies. Like, remember I was telling you the other day, I'm like, I'm learning just as I'm getting older and maneuvering in relationships, like, people really love being lied to. Remember I was talking to you about that? I'm like, babe, people don't like the truth. No, they don't. Like, I can tell someone direct what it is, and they hate that. But if I lie, that's what I was saying. I was like, like, if I'm not going to something, I'm gonna tell you. Like, somebody gonna invite me to something, I'll be like, yeah, I probably won't go. Yeah. They will truly be upset about that. But if I say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there, and just ghost and just ghost on that day, like, don't text them, don't just play them, people be cool with that.
The way of the world is lies, babe.
It's
Most it's very hard to find people that tell the truth and that they live with integrity. And, listen, we not perfect, but that's something that we try our best to do, is be straight up. I'll be like, you ever listen to somebody, like one of your people do music, and you like, please don't ask me
if the music is good.
Please don't ask me the song.
Because I'm definitely not going to lie.
I got to tell you the truth.
I'm not going to lie.
Like, or you hear some of your people's stuff, and you be like, I hope he do ask me, because I want him to get that right next time. You know, he's actually pretty decent artist. I want him to get that right next time.
But that's just how I feel. Like, y'all, if y'all are with me and you're watching this and you are a lady, please let me know that you are with me, because the point that I was making is we've been going viral on like TikTok and Instagram, and look, kind of Facebook a little bit too. Shout out to Facebook. Yeah. But some of the women just, they ain't and men are not liking what they like Namdi. I'm like, Yeah. You ain't. They ain't been down your throat.
They came after me on that Square deal. They like, hold on, homie, what you talking about?
Yeah, they did. The Square versus Thug Love. Yeah. Y'all need to, if y'all haven't, catch up on all the pillow talking, because Francesca was asking the other day. She was like, I feel like I need to watch y'all podcast or YouTube in order. And I sat there and I was like, I mean, kinda. Yeah. So you can kind of just, when we reference something of a past video, you'll know what we're really talking about. Really know. So yes, catch up. But yeah, y'all be with me. So the point that I was making is today is another heavy hitter.
Call me a heavy hitter. Let's jump into it. So recent hot topics. Now, Ciara, the R&B artist, many of you may know, she is married to Russell Wilson, who is a famous NFL quarterback in the NFL. She recently wore a very revealing dress to the Oscars. It caused so much buzz all around social media. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it made me think, and I wanted to pose a question to you, babe. As a woman who is married to a believer, do you think Ciara should uphold the standard of modesty?
So if y'all don't know, I am always talking about modesty. It's a personal journey that I am still on. Just kind of discovering what modesty is and what I'm comfortable with, what me and my relationship with God, like what's okay with me. You know, I told you the other day or not too long ago, I was like, I'm probably not modest to someone. Like somebody else's standard is like no pants and no makeup and no weave and like no lashes. Like, so I'm probably someone else's like immodest self. And so I just want to say this. I think first and foremost, I do think there is a standard, but I also think depending on your relationship with Christ, it can look different. So I guess before I could even answer that, I mean, the question would be, is Ciara a believer? Because I know the question is, should she uphold a standard of modesty because her husband has proclaimed that he's a Christian, but is she? Because if she's not a believer and she does not claim to be a woman of God, she will follow the ways of the world, right? Yeah, right. You know, like, so I wouldn't expect her to do something just because her husband is something. You know what I mean? But if there has been, which obviously we're not in their home, we're not in their bedroom, we don't know what they're talking about. But if there has been a conversation, if he has set a standard from the beginning, like this is what I want my woman to look like, this is what I desire, then absolutely. But I mean, from what I've seen from Ciara, most of the time is, you know, she's revealing herself. I mean, she is an R&B artist, a influencer, you know, she's of the culture of the industry, right? Yeah. And so I don't expect anything else. Yeah. So it's a no for me because she's not a believer. Yeah. Now, excuse me, because I haven't personally seen her say, oh, I'm a woman of God, I'm a believer. Yeah. And this is who I am. I am a child of God. I am a woman of God. Had that been stated, then it's like
Jesus Christ, to be exact.
Yes, right.
I don't know what God they serving nowadays.
And then I just want to say, I also want to say this because I see a lot of women that are like, when I speak about modesty, like, you know, it's judgmental, and you know, women of God look like everything, and we don't all look the same. Like, it's some, again, like I said, I wear makeup, I wear weave, I wear nails, and I am someone's definition of immodest. So I understand that to a certain degree. But if Ciara is a believer, and depending on how long and her walk, it's so many angles to it, because I am a firm believer in growth, right? It would be kind of bizarre for me and you to still be arguing about day one things of our marriage, right? Yeah. We would expect some growth in our marriage, right? Yeah. The same thing as my daughters get older and older and older. I shouldn't be potty training a 12-year-old, right? Yeah. So I think it's the same as far as modesty. As you grow in your relationship with Christ, and as you continuously find your identity, you discover your identity in Him, I do think that it will be evident in what you wear. And so in this dress particularly, if she was a woman of God, she should have just been nude. She was basically complete. She had on a see-through dress with a thong. And so, and And then I just also want to say, like, don't get me wrong. Yes, because I don't know if she's a believer. If she's not, then yes, it's the ways of the world. But even when I was in the world and I wasn't claiming to be a Christian, like, you're not catching me with a.
That's still a stretch. That's still like, if when we was at the club, if somebody came through the line with that on, we like, oh,
they couldn't get in the club.
I don't know.
No, you couldn't get in the club like that.
Well, probably not in Kansas City, but where we at now, I bet you they could.
Naked with a thong and a see-through dress?
In Atlanta, I bet you they could.
Yeah, maybe so.
I bet you. You be in Walmart and you be hitting me up like, baby,
gosh.
This girl is literally in panties in the Walmart.
Y'all, I was at Walmart and y'all know the lingerie sets that are like a tank top that's kind of see-through and then like the super booty shorts. Baby girl had on one of those pink things, and I'm looking like how y'all look when y'all see a booty. Like, I called and I'm like, babe, it's a woman in Walmart like this. But I think in a normal sense, like most women, even not saved, are not necessarily just naked. All like,
you're right.
I don't know what point she was trying to make. I'm not sure. She's so pretty. She's so gorgeous. She doesn't have to do that. But I just also want to say this before y'all come for me.
She know y'all coming.
I think that it's kind of sad a little bit because you're a wife, you're a mother, you're getting older. Like, why? You know, it's just kind of, that's when I'm just like, well, what's not even judgment, just like, what's the point? Like, we know you. Like, and then it's just like, the only thing we haven't seen is your vagina.
That's terrible.
That's it.
That's terrible.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally all we have in, like, that's the inside of your butt. Like, that's it. But, like, everything, like, what? I don't know. Y'all answer this. If there's any men that watch us and y'all not saved, y'all don't really care or whatever, like, how do y'all feel? And saved men, I really want y'all to answer this. How do you feel about your woman just revealing her entire body to the world? And we're talking about on this level where millions are seeing this. And then what kind of threw me off was seeing believers in the comments like, yes, killing it, and believers liking it. And I'm like, now if TK Lee got on this here Instagram, if I got on Instagram, y'all, and this is where I want to, this where I be wanting to fight y'all a little bit. Because y'all will go under saved people. Y'all will go under someone that's not saved, Instagram, and comment, oh my gosh, yes, killing it, blah, 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 and say nothing is wrong with that, right? Because when you comment, you're in agreement that this is okay. You're saying, I approve, I think this is dope. Applauding. But if I show a shoulder,
come on,
y'all ready to see? Yeah, like, see, I told y'all she the main one, da, da, da. And it's so it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy how it is. Yeah. It's kind of a double standard because at the same time, we eat up these people that we think, you know, has a certain level of something, and we I be trying to work on not being so frank, babe.
Listen, disclaimer, whatever she say from here, just give her grace.
It just be giving me cowards. It just gives coward because it's like y'all don't say certain stuff to certain people because they might have a platform that can take you somewhere. Y'all don't say certain things that y'all know is wrong, or y'all just don't talk. Y'all don't talk about certain things because y'all know the people that could get y'all on, you might be pissing them off by saying certain things.
That can get y'all into doors that will take your career to the next level.
Take your career to the next level. So I'm not gonna say nothing about so and so because shoot, if she put me on a song, it's on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I even told you, and this is just going boop left. Even with music, like I would tell you, like, babe, I don't think I'm gonna make it far in this game. You know, I would say that. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna make it far in Christian hip hop.
You don't really have a jive bone in you.
No, I don't.
You're not with the fakery or playing around. Like, if you're not gonna do it, you're not gonna do it. Yeah. If you don't mess with it, you don't.
I don't I don't change my standards depending on the room that I'm in. Yeah. Like I believe in modesty in every room. I believe in no sex before marriage in every room. Yeah. I believe in integrity when I speak in every room. Yeah. And I don't be liking that switch up. Like, and that's back to the point that I was making, even with music. I'm like, in certain industries, like, and this is not new. I'm not saying nothing, no breaking news, but like, you know, the politicking that you got to do to get in certain, like, I must have watched an interview the other day. I'm going left. Sorry, y'all. Pillow talking with the UA
This is what we do. Let's go straight into it, man.
I was watching the interview the other day with Monique and her husband talking about their open marriage from years ago. And the interview was done by 2 pastors. And they were just like, this is who we are. And the husband was like, how dare I tell her she can't sleep with multiple people? By the way, they just closed their marriage. But, okay, stay here. And the interview was done by 2 pastors. And I was just so disappointed because I'm like,
they didn't speak life into him a little bit.
Nothing. It was just like,
back with hard questions.
Nothing. Like, y'all just, I don't know. A lot of stuff be giving me coward. And something that Pastor Philip spoke on Sunday that I revved up when he talked, because I'm like, that, yes, somebody else ain't scared. We're not scared of y'all. Like, we're not scared.
He go, but come on, it's tucking your tail.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Come on, Christians.
No, for real. But Pastor Philip said something about like, oh gosh, Lord. But it was in the Bible, I think, or maybe it was a point that he was making. But he was basically speaking about how like watering down, like God frowns upon those that water down the truth in any way, shape, or form. And it just made me think about that, like how, back to the point of like modesty, like how, you know, modesty is only a standard to like pastors or something, but like it's not a standard to our normal everyday influencers. Y'all know how many naked Christian women I see on Instagram, and they just be quick to be like, don't judge me, we all on our own journey. Baby girl, you've been saved for 10 years. Why are you still naked? Like that. And then it's not judgment if you're another believer. The Bible talks about that. If you're not a believer, then I don't got nothing to say to you. You don't know no better. But you are, you proclaim to be a believer. It's in your bio. You talk about it all the time, and you're still naked. You still showing your booty and your breast every moment you get. You still posting bikini pics. Like, after a while, it's like, okay, now, like, what are we talking about? Are we just ignoring the fact that Jesus has the power to transform? Are we just denying the power that lies within having a relationship with him?
Or this gives the gospel a black eye, like, because you'll see other believers maybe like they will egg that person on.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He'd be like, hold on.
What?
Hold on, what's going on here?
Yes.
But like, you in your music, you talk about this. Like, what are you? What's going on here? Are we not like, let's inbox and say, hey, you know, what's going on, sis?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
or if you have a relationship with someone, like those that are close to me, any of my friends know I talk about modesty. Like that's just, it just falls out of my mouth. It's and I'm not perfect in it, but I think anybody could look back. You should just be able to look at someone's life that belongs to Christ for real and see change and see growth and see someone evolving and just doing, you know, and just all aspects. And so to the question, back to that, no, I don't think there's a standard on her if she's not a believer. If she is, then absolutely. And I just think even like, let's say she's just kind of sort of a believer, like she's not really deep into like local church and all the other things, like how dope would it be to have a woman with her platform embrace and encourage modesty?
Be very dope.
How fire would it be for a woman that we all love, like Sierra? She popping, like we, you know, the songs 1-2 step, like we like, how dope would it be for someone, you know, even when and I'm not going to name any names, but there are certain women that I watch on Instagram and I'm like, oh, she's so fire. Like, she's so dope. 1.2 million, 3 million followers. And I'm like, how fire would it be for that person to make modesty dope? Yeah. Because if those people do it, then everybody else do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Sierra tomorrow was on a modesty journey, then she would have however million people following her. Like, let's follow. And that's what makes me so annoyed by Christians, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. off tops. Yeah. Sometimes the non-believers will jump on the modesty train before we even do. And so I don't know. Overall, no, she doesn't have to uphold if she's not a believer. Yeah. But if her husband is a believer, I don't know how that man dealing with it. What you think?
That's where I was really confused at, because I'm thinking he's a believer. They were really open about them actually not having sex before marriage. And doing things like that. So I was thinking that she was being transformed, being discipled by her husband, and she's coming into this new form. But as you said,
it seemed like that.
As you said though, especially after her having a relationship with a worldly man like Future,
right,
and then going with Russell Wilson, because they were like, what everybody was talking about about them not having sex before marriage and all those things, and so I thought that would. She would change by being around him, but as you was talking about, her music, she still is, pretty out there somewhere. So I haven't really seen too much, but
to be honest, I think she's gotten worse.
Maybe, and maybe that's the part of like, I'm just doing this because I got married to him, but I don't really believe in what he believe in like that. Some people are like, they put the stamp Christian, but they live like a whole the other way.
Yeah.
From it, they just like, I love Jesus, I love God, but I'm still a work in progress. Y'all don't see these things.
God know my heart.
God know my heart. You about to see this. Yeah. Like, forget it. Like, I know it's wrong, but I'm just going to be like, forget it. Like, I'm not perfect, and say, do not judge, and all that. That's kind of what it is.
Oh, that's their favorite line.
Man, favorite.
Who are you? God's still changing me, and we all growing. I'm not perfect. You not perfect.
Yeah.
Child.
We judge our own, though. And
we can judge our own.
If you say you a believer, then we can call that out, because it may need to be called. Maybe you don't notice it is what you're doing, and so I would hope that Russell had that conversation. I was like, man,
how do you feel about modesty as a kingdom man?
I believe that if you're a believer, you're a woman of God, there should be, like you said before, there should be some progress. We should see there was a difference between TK when she was in the world and she was doing whatever she wanted to do.
Or even my beginning walk.
Yeah, towards where she's at right now. They said, it says, where it says that they will know you by your fruit, okay? And if you're not bearing any fruit, nothing different, you still hanging in the same spots, you still talking the same way that you was, cussing up a storm, smoking the same thing, sleeping around, doing all those things. And what is so different from what you are now as a believer than what you are in the world? That's the big question. And so, yes, there should be a difference. There should be some type of change, and that's why we can't say, we're like, maybe she's not a believer,
right?
At least even when Megan Good was with Devon Franklin before they unfortunately got the divorce, she didn't do the modesty thing. He even had to call out somebody who called her out. Remember, lady asked her about.
He said she gonna wear what she wants.
She gonna wear what. Yeah, which he should do in public like that if somebody's gonna call out. But she didn't get very modest or anything. She didn't stop being in sexual scenes in movies or anything like that. But she did seem like when she was speaking, she spoke a little bit more about her faith. Even I just saw a clip, even though she's no longer with him, she said one of her top 5 artists, dead or alive, was Lecrae, which was really big to me too. Again, I believe if you with a man or a woman that really walk with God, that residue's gonna rub off. I think we were talking about this in the last episode. Like, when you together for so long, the way that someone is, I mean, even if you don't try to, there's certain things that you do that now it rubs off on me, and vice versa. So I would think that would rub off on her, and then that would kind of change her. So it just makes me think, what's going on behind the scenes? Is it that we have so much money that we're numb? Because, I mean, Russell Wilson had made well over, I believe, $300 million or so. His contracts equal up to over $300 million or so in the NFL. Maybe we're so far away from really the body of Christ. And we're so much into the culture of Hollywood,
right, that
we really don't walk like believers. And so that's where I was. So I got a big time problem with it. I don't see how. I just put myself in his shoes. You're not leaving the house.
Okay.
we ain't going to the Oscars then.
No, that's an outfit for the bedroom.
Oh, and that's what you want to do nowadays?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what we on. Like, it's gonna be. We can't make it tonight. Russell, where you guys at?
Especially Nandi. All I gotta do is wear some jeans, and he be like,
"I'm always a question.
You gonna wrap something around that booty?" I'm like, "Babe, it's not even looking big."
I'm stopping her when she's about to go. When she's about to go to the gym.
My God,
y'all know in the gym.
Hold on, y'all. Namdi wants me to wear a blanket to the gym.
Basically, here's the thing. First off,
I'm like, sir. I have to exercise.
First off,
I can't wear basketball shorts and boots.
When it comes to the gym, y'all should be in. There should be 2 separate gyms. Oh, men gym, women gym.
You up? Go ahead.
It should be like 2 separate sides. Or
keep going. Nope.
I don't want nobody to take my idea. Man, somebody gonna monetize my idea. I'm gonna say it anyway. It is what it is. If God bless us with the money, we'll do it. But there should be a gym to where women could go on their side and be comfortable. Because I know a lot of times, even when you say you go to the gym, that you're like, you said, I feel uncomfortable. Guys looking at me, asking me, do you know how to do that crunch right or that curl right? Or let me show you. They want to help you out and all of that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it should be that, and then the men should be on their side. Because I done seen dudes just sit in the gym, just in a circle of them, just lifting and looking. Yeah, lifting, looking. Yeah, I'm just like, what's going on here? Like, I don't got no problem with you if you're gonna go ahead and go over and holler at her real quick. Right. If that's what you really want to do, and she's a single woman. But there should be also like a gym men's side, women's side, and maybe a co-ed side where couples can work out together.
You funny.
Oh, that'd have to be a crazy big gym or something. They don't think we
are. What they call it, L7?
They ain't already went in on me for being, I guess, a square or whatever it is. What it is.
Did,
but I just believe again that we should walk different as believers.
Yes.
And if you're with someone that's a believer, if you're not doing what they're doing or you're not walking according to that faith, then y'all unequally yoked. And that's what made me think about,
And I just, like preachers and pastors that be having their shirt unbuttoned to their belly button with gold chains, like, okay, and they be tatted and the pecs be coming through. Like, men can be immodest too. Y'all be wearing tank tops and be oiled up and certain things as well. So men can be immodest. I just think that it's so much more evident when a woman is trying to be immodest because we have boobs and booty and thighs and shapes and like. Not making it an excuse for men to not be immodest. But I just want to say that men, you can be immodest too. We're not just pointing at the women.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I believe if you're a believer, you should discern like something like, okay, this is a little too much. Like I don't need to, especially with what she was wearing.
Crazy.
And even as a man, you should. Yeah. Okay, I'm just like I am a pastor. I'm a leader. What am I doing? Really? Like, come on.
Forget a pastor or a leader. Like I'm not a pastor or a leader. I'm a believer though.
You're a believer, yeah. We're all ministers of the gospel.
Made me a banner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm already a banner for Christ, and
I'm supposed to be the light.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the light in the darkness, and that's another thing for people that are quick to be like, "Don't judge us," but you're literally biblically supposed to look different. Yeah. You are peculiar and called out. So when you are in environments. A lot of times women talk to me simply because of how I look. Like I remember just Sunday, someone gave me a compliment. It was like, you just always look good. And I don't show anything. You know what I'm saying? And guess what my response was? I think I'm supposed to be like this modern fashionista type of, and I was able to talk about modesty. And so there are certain things that will attract you in the darkness, and that's you being the light. But if you're blending right in, so you try to talk about Jesus, I'm like, girl, I can't stop looking at your boobs. Like, we talking about Jesus, and all I see is breasts bouncing while you talking. Yeah, like,
you don't want to be a distraction.
And then I'm gonna end this on this. I know this is super long, y'all, but you shouldn't have asked me about this. You know I'm passionate about this. Yeah. When I was going through and still my modesty journey, one of the things the Lord asked me or challenged me to do was care for my brothers.
Yeah, that's good.
Every man is my brother, right? Every man in Christ, every man in the kingdom, men around me, they automatically are brothers to me. They ain't nothing else. I'm a married woman. I'm taken. I'm good, right? Yeah. And if that's the case, when I put on my clothes, I'm mindful of 2 things. 1, do I feel okay with it? 2, will my husband be good with it? 3, when I get out in these environments, the men that I talk to, are they gonna have to look up in the sky because they trying to avoid looking at my breast? Do they gotta turn the other way because they trying to avoid seeing my booty jiggle in a summer dress? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I care? And that was something that the Lord challenged me. So even when it comes to women that are like, I don't feel nothing is wrong with this, and men gonna look. Right? Men are gonna look regardless. It's been times I had on a whole sweat outfit and they looking to see what's going on. But my intentions when I left that house was pure. So just be mindful and begin to care. If you are a single woman, shoot, everyone that's watching this, that's a woman. Like, I need you to care about the brothers that are around you so that they don't fall. No, it's not your responsibility. If they're lustful, they're lustful. That's on them. But you have a standard to uphold if you are a woman of God.
Yeah. And if you're a single woman, just think about, what are you putting on display? What is your message saying? Is it saying, hey, come get this? Okay, because you're displaying what you want, and be asking why ain't found me a man yet? Why I don't got no husband?
Why you gotta make them talk like that?
I'm just saying, the sisters, they just why I ain't found a man yet? Why I ain't found no husband? Like, what are you displaying to them? Are you saying, hey, it's open for service, or is it saying, this is wrapped up? You could, because first off, we know if you got that, even if you got it covered up. Okay. So they're going to be able to tell single ladies.
Still can tell.
They're going to be able to tell if you got it regardless. You don't got to worry about it. You still going to catch them. Because they're going to be like, okay. But if it's a wrapped up gift, though.
Right.
They're going to
mystery.
Like, oh, it's a mystery.
You take away the mystery.
Ooh, when you just out there, there's no mystery to it. It's all out in the open. They like, oh, anybody can have that. Yeah. She's open for service. Dang. But when you wrap that thing up like a nice gift, I got to get it together. I want that. Yeah. I want that for life there.
And you get a different type of man that approaches you too. I was just telling my friend the other day, like, when I started dressing modest, I went on like a experiment with myself, right? I used to go to Walmart all the time, right? You remember those days? Yes. I used to go to Walmart all the time, and I went through a season of just like wearing dresses and skirts. I don't know if you remember that. Like, I would get all my skirts from the thrift store and like buy them super cheap. Okay. And I just remember men just behaving differently around me. Like, and the crazy thing is, if you're not secure, you will feel like you're losing the attention of men, because less men broke their necks for me. Less men was like, dang, whoa, come here, mama. All the things, right? They don't do that as much when you're wearing a skirt and a dress, but it was certain type of men that, hey, how you doing? I'm great. Can I get that for you? It was just a difference. Yeah. But when I had on a crop top and some leggings, oh baby, it's boo. How you doing? Left and right. And so just know you're going to attract a different type of man too when you do care about covering up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, listen, hey, we want to know, what do you think? Do you think Sierra's dress just took it a little too far? What do you believe about those who are believers in modesty? What do you believe about just modesty overall, even if you're not a believer? We want to know what you think in the comments below. Please drop it there.
Drop it down below.
On to the next. So we got some questions. I believe this was posed to us. I can't remember where exactly I got it from. They told us to ask these. And so, babe, I'm going to ask you again. How do you love your spouse when you do not like them? When you don't like them, how do you love them?
Ooh, I get mad when people be like, the Holy Spirit. People, I done been to so many events. You be like, girl, I need a little more practical, realistic things to follow. But truthfully, the Holy Spirit.
As you say,
no, seriously.
No, really, you're going to need them.
Definitely. There's absolutely been seasons of our marriage where I'm like, ooh, getting on my nerves. Kind of annoying me a little bit, know. But I think there's a few things, actually. So spiritually, I know the annoying answer that y'all don't want to hear, but it's really real, is actually like pulling on Christ. Like, Jesus, help me. This is a season where I do not feel appreciated. He's ignoring me. He's fill in the blank, whatever it is for you, husband or wife, right? And I'm with them. I still got to honor them. I still have to respect them. I still have to care and take care of things that my responsibilities in this partnership. So Holy Spirit, help me to do this without an attitude. Help me to the second thing is have sex still, you know, while you don't like someone. And like, and I actually talked about this on Tapping with TK. I think it was the one, all he wants is meals, sex, and respect. And I talked
Shameless
about,
plug.
you know,
Now go check out Tapping with TK.
yeah, please. That was actually a really, really good one. But yeah, there's been nights where we've been off all day and Namdi tapped me like,
tap.
It's
Open
time.
that window up.
Open the window.
Let's go.
Oh my goodness. But, and I've literally had to like, I be there like, Jesus, okay, I know this is my responsibility. I don't want him. Yeah, okay, all right, help me. And there's been time. I mean, and those been one of the greatest times, you know, that I would literally, after we got done, I would be like, wow, Jesus, you did that. Like I was actually telling one of my girlfriends that's married as well. I'm like, I countless amount of times the Holy Spirit has showed up for me, not even just intimately, but in general. Like the question, like, how do you still love someone even? And I think just when things are off, right? So pulling on the Holy Spirit, continuously praying for the Lord to keep your heart pure towards this person, to remind you who they are, even if they acting like they shouldn't be, right? And then I think a practical thing, like a couple of practical things for me, is keeping the romance alive as best as you, or, I'm sorry, not romance, keeping your friendship alive as much as you can. And so a lot of times when you get married, I know for me and Namdi, we were friends first. I would pray that was everyone's story. So if you are friends first before you are anyone's wife or husband, like get back to doing the things that you did when you were just friends. One of the things that me and Namdi did before we, started dating was listen to music in the car. And it's probably it's just one of those things, like we'll be riding home and the kids fell asleep on the way home from church and we'll just be listening to music and just vibing. And like, so whatever it is for you that reminds you of your friendship, in those moments, you really got to dig in.
It helps really rekindle things.
Yeah, really, really rekindle that friendship, because I think a lot of times, again, when you go through life and you go through marriage, you go through bills and the kids and the cleaning and the worry and the stress of the world, you can lose moments. I don't care if you having sex, you can still lose friendship. And so keeping your friendship alive, whatever that is for you, do it. If that's whatever it is, if that's watching Martin or, that's some of our things, like just remembering how we laughed late at night and just watching shows and just rekindling the friendship, I think it's something that is so big. And so, that's mine. What about you? What would you say?
So for me, when it comes to those seasons, and I would say it was really evident to me that we had more of these issues maybe when we are earlier in our marriage. Like you get in this marriage and you like thinking it's gonna be one thing, and then you turn around and you're like, hold on. I know that it was some times when TK was just wilding. It just not wilding, just like you were just off a little bit on some things, or you just wasn't speaking to me the way that I wanted you to, especially earlier in our marriage. And I'm just and I'm thinking in my head, man, I love my wife, but Lord, I don't know if I like her right now.
Yeah.
And I just had to think.
Ooh, this is so heavy. I just went so deep. I wasn't prepared. Y'all know we don't be rehearsing this like
we definitely don't.
At all.
But
I'm like, what is he about to say?
But I said, I would sit there, and back then we had no counsel. Like if you looked at our story, we had nobody to turn to. Having so many that felt like we just was doing this just too quick or shouldn't have been together or whatever the case may be. Yeah. But it had nobody. So all I could do, like you said, you're going to hear it again, turn to Holy Spirit. I gotta pray to the Lord. And he spoke to me, and he just, first off, he said, you're not that easy to deal with yourself, right? First off, being able to see that, like knowing that, listen, you're imperfect too. Yeah. And you marry somebody also who's imperfect. But what you can do your best is show them love through their imperfections. That's how they can really see how, just really, they can see the love of the Lord just through your love. Like the way that you treat them through that process. Because a lot of times we say these I do's and these for better or for worse. But when it gets worse, we be ready to go. Yeah. We talking about irreconcilable differences. Right. What is that? Like, no, it's something that we need to maybe communicate. We need to talk about some things. And so usually for myself, it started always off with prayer. I had to pray and just ask the Lord to show me something, help me out there. And he always pointed back to me and what I'm doing.
Yes, every time.
Especially as the men, if you have any type of mentor or anybody that you're under, I'm gonna tell you, at least the ones that I've been under, they always, every time that we ever had a counseling session, everything always came back. I literally thought I was right. I know I'm right, and they call her out for her stuff, but they point. Namdi, I need to talk directly to you. So let me tell you, and it always comes down to what the man is doing and how the woman is processing. A lot of times y'all react based off of how we're acting.
Yes.
And so if, like you said, if I'm not filling that love tank, if I'm not leaving you a letter like I used to, or bringing you some flowers in, like, like I'll be honest, here recently I had to do that. Just was off, and I knew my game was off. It's almost like after a while I know a rhythm, and I know when I'm off rhythm, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's coming. She about to blow up real
I did
soon.
not blow up.
You didn't blow up at all. No, you didn't blow up this time.
Back
then, catch your year 1 through 2
I don't
though.
blow up no more.
1 through 2, it's coming out. Pow, 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 pow. You go be at me. I'm like, that girl in that mouth, woo. We had to show some grace through those times. And through that time, I just had, like, the Lord had to just deal with me. Okay, love on her through this. Don't fight fire with fire. You understand? Like, if she's acting out and she's being a certain way, don't do the same thing. If both of y'all doing that, it's not going to end up being any good at all. So, I had to turn to the Lord any of those times, and also know that even if you're not going to act right, I'm going to be right. Why? Because I don't answer to you. I answer to him. This is why we always say, make sure that you get somebody that is anchored in Christ. They love him more than they love you, because sometimes you're going to be unlovable. You're going to be to the point that, well, not unlovable, but you're going to be unlikable.
Right.
They're not going to like you. And they need to be able to have that, to be like, okay, if I treat her wrong, my father may not hear my prayers.
Yeah.
So let me make sure I treat her right. If the Lord took me home, I may have to answer for the way that I treated my wife.
Yeah.
Let me make sure, because that judgment is going to be bigger than any judgment. So let me make sure that I'm on point. Let me treat her. It says that we are to be a sacrifice like Christ is for the church. That's what men are supposed to be. Let me be honest with y'all. It's going to feel like death sometimes. Like, real talk. Like, just, you want to say it back. Ooh, I'm telling you, especially like in some of them first years, man, she done said some stuff. And I'm like, but thank God too, like, I had been planning to him for so long, and I was tired too of arguing.
I was gonna say, baby, hold on. I was gonna say, Namdi had a toxic relationship prior to me, so you had been drained of cussing females out and talking bad to them. Namdi was okay. Thank you for bringing this up, because I was literally gonna say this. Namdi was my first real relationship.
Yes, Holy Spirit was telling me that to bring it up during this conversation right here. But go ahead.
Yes, Namdi was my first, and I just want to say this to clap back at those comments under my Instagram too that was eating me up. Like, she should have known better, and you shouldn't have to teach someone. I was 21 when I met Namdi.
Yeah, 22 when you got married,
baby. I was 20 when you had sex with me. How old was I?
Keep going.
How old was I?
21.
Okay, then. Like, thank you. I was 21. So I was 21 when he loved making me older. I was 21.
I was 29. Go ahead.
I was 21. My first real relationship. No demonstration of healthiness in a relationship. Yeah. I was ready for the rumble. I was ready for it. I'm like, and then you gotta also.
And I think you used to be a kind of low key attracted, or you wanted that kind of fight.
I was literally
to see if I would like. How do I really care?
No, I was literally gonna say my immaturity also compared what you told me about your last relationship. I'm like, well, you ain't running after me when I run out the door. You're not calling me back, and you're not knocking on my mama door.
I don't think I did either on that one. I just. Yeah, I definitely didn't do none of that.
You did a few things, but anywho, he had already been through. Namdi is not 8 years. He's 8 years older than me. Yes. So you had already been through the arguing. So because Namdi loved making himself look awesome on these videos.
Oh, come on.
So Namdi wasn't just this perfect gentleman that arrived and was just not argumentative. He was argumentative. Yeah. He just did it for 8 years and was tired by the time he got to me. He was tired. He didn't like
that
to
Negro wore me out on art. I got you. I'm like, he's got the yeah. All right, Keisha. All right.
Yeah.
I had no more left in me. I was drained. I did not want to do the whole like. I had already been through my stage of the early 20s where you get into it, you act a fool and all that. Yeah. I was so far past that.
And I was just starting.
You was just starting.
Yeah, I
had to relive it with her, but I didn't participate.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah, which also eventually made you mature into it too.
No, and I was
gonna fight that by yourself.
No, I was gonna literally say that like you were going back to the point that you were making. I'm sorry.
I don't know. You threw me up. I don't know. Go ahead, baby. It's cool. Let's let it flow.
Go. The point that you were making about making sure you get with someone that is more anchored in Christ than you, because I be meeting people that be so obsessed with their spouses, which is like great, in a way, like love your spouse, but like I need you to love Jesus more. You love that spouse because yes, there will be seasons that your spouse is not doing the things that they need to do all the time. Like you're not gonna marry someone that's perfect, but you are literally the perfect example of I don't answer to you. Yeah. Like I answer to Christ. Yeah. And because I answer to Jesus, I'm going to treat you right. Yeah. Like I love you. Don't get me wrong. But there were absolute seasons that I deserve for Namdi to talk bad to me. Like I deserve for him to clap back but he just never did. And it was sincerely because he was like, I can let this off tonight. Tomorrow, and maybe even for a couple of years afterwards, I'm going to be convicted of this. I'm going to be walking in this. I'm going to have to apologize. I'm going to be repenting. I'm going to be holding myself to this. And you were the example of that. And that is this is what I was talking about even in our interview. Like you were the example. That's another example that you walked in for me as a leader, was showing me I'm not perfect. And I'm not arguing back because I don't have it in me, but I just know that I got to answer to somebody higher than you. And because you had that level of maturity, it didn't go as bad as it could have went. Because had you been on my level of maturity, we would have been in some real dark places.
Let that be a message to someone. Like there may be a man or woman, you're married right now, and your spouse is one who got that mouth. Sometimes they bring out that AK on the tongue, like pow, pow, pow. You ready to go back at them. Listen, if you fight fire with fire, you just gonna get a big explosion. There's no point of doing it. Listen, somebody has to be the level head. Somebody has to take the higher road. Yeah. Make sure that you're the one that's taking that higher road. You don't have to say what they said. You don't have to get back, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up saying some things that you wish you never said. Yeah. There's just some things that if I want to go deep down in way back in my memory that she said that I will never forget, and vice versa. She's telling me how decent I was, but there was some times that I eventually snapped and I said something or whatever. I just didn't do it very often at all. But what I'm saying to you guys is make sure you're that one. Be the level-headed spouse. Be the one who's thinking, okay, we got to answer to the king. Yeah. All right, I'm not going that route with you. You have at it. Because what usually happened too, babe, is that you would after a while, you're locked in with them. Yeah. You would go back and you come, babe, that was wrong. Yeah. And that was you. And that's what I love about you, is that it's probably less than 24 hours, maybe a few hours, that you could at least apologize. Oh, yeah. Just coming from where I come from in the past relationship and all that, that was one thing I thought was major, because I've been with people that didn't know how to, if you're going to do something wrong, you can't be walking with Christ and you just said what you said and you don't come back and say, my bad. Hey, my bad. That wasn't, if you don't do that, then I'm like, hold up. I had to start looking like, hey, are we going to the same church? Are we under the same word? Are we are we praying to the same God? Yeah. Because you have no conviction. Yeah. If you are saved, you're a real like if you're a believer, you should be convicted by any time that you sin. Regardless, whether it be out your mouth, with your body, whatever it is you should feel some type of conviction about that thing. I don't care if I wrong somebody at work.
Right.
Or even if I didn't try to wrong them and they were offended in some type of way. I am going to go to that person and try to make that thing right.
Yeah.
That's just who I am in all aspects because, again, I answer to the Father.
Well, the word talks about going out of your way to create peace.
Definitely.
And so that's what that looks like. You know, it looks like apologizing for things that, you know, you were like, no, I didn't mean that. Like, we'll do that where, you know, we'll be like, okay, talk to me. What's going on? I can tell you're upset about something. I might not be aware at all, but I'll be like, okay, babe, what did I do? Like, let me know. And that's just to also just piggyback on your point about being locked in with Christ. God, I ain't going to be able to get too many hours away before God just going to be hitting my heart like, you know, you got to make that right. You know, you got to apologize. Like, very quickly. I'm going to have to walk away and think about it after being mad, but I'm definitely going to come back and apologize. But what are we even talking about?
Again, this is how do you love your spouse when you don't like your spouse? I'm sorry, spouse when you don't like them. And I also want to put this word for a spouse that's maybe warring with another one. And if they're not being convicted or they're not come back apologizing, man, make sure you are like relentlessly praying for your spouse. I wake up every day and I pray for my wife.
Yeah.
I pray over her. I'm always thinking about her and just like, Lord, you know, if I can't speak to her, you speak to her. Again, you can't get this when you don't have somebody who don't believe what you believe.
Right.
Too.
Right.
You don't get this when you got somebody who kind of got like a surfacey relationship with the Lord. They kind of like, yeah, I'm a Christian, but yeah, that's just so because I just want my sins wiped away and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, no, somebody who's truly like faithful in their walk with the Lord. Like fruit. you want that. Yeah, that they're showing that fruit. That's why you say make sure you get that. But make sure you're praying just like if you got somebody who you know, like, no, she's a believer. He's a believer. And I know for sure that he loves the Lord. Man, pray and watch what the Lord will do in your situation. I bet he'll turn that whole thing around. Let me tell you, don't get it wrong too. Seek out counsel, because we eventually had to get counsel. And I was just thinking back on this other day, babe. We probably had counsel every couple years. Now that I think back on it, I was thinking about the ones that we went to counsel for, and I was like, we had that. And so you should know it's time for, I'll tell you later, Romy, but the people. But you should.
The new people we just remembered.
Yeah.
That.
That based off the situation from the one couple. So like you should when the last time that y'all went to a marriage conference? When's the last time that y'all talked to another couple? Like a believing couple, someone that can actually counsel. Some people that's more knowledgeable about the word than you guys are, that's further along in their marriage than you guys are. When is the last time you had a checkup? Like you go get your car to oil change, you go make sure that your body is right, you go to the doctor for checkups.
Right.
Has your marriage had to have a checkup? Has it had a checkup in a minute?
Yeah.
You may be running low. It may be time to change out the filter.
Yeah.
Let's go get some counsel, and that also can help too.
Yeah, I that's amazing. And I just really hope y'all grab that because a lot of people be married and never pray about their marriage. Like, it's not going to work. The enemy, there is a war against marriage.
Not against flesh and blood.
It's not against flesh and blood. And the enemy does not want us to make it. The enemy does not want your marriage to thrive and succeed and children to be raised in a two-parent household and for generational curses to be broken and for the kids to turn out great and the other kids. And then kingdom on top of that. Like, the enemy is going to try to knock y'all heads off. And so you got to remember the enemy doesn't sleep. His camp don't sleep. And so when you get up, you need to be praying and covering your marriage. You need to be covering your spouse. So we don't say pray, because it's cute and we're Christians and we just pray every day. No, like we know you are seeing a product of prayer. Like when he talked about how bad I was talking and popping off at the mouth, that's all I knew. And it wasn't, one, it was him praying over me. Two, it was me praying for myself and being locked in with Christ. And so it will be evidence, and the Holy Spirit will transform. God will transform your marriage, but you got to do the work.
Come on, that's real. So, hey, what do y'all think about that? How do you love your spouse when you don't like them? Somebody that's married right now, you watching that, please drop that in the comments down below.
Yep, for sure. It is me, huh?
So
it's my turn. Okay,
let's get it.
this is a little bit of a different video or a different portion, a different segment.
Yeah.
I think it's getting a little heavier as the time goes on.
Yes.
I am enjoying this show with you, babe. What is this episode?
I think this is 9.
Episode 9. We in here, y'all.
I think this is. I'm pretty sure this is 9. But
oh Lord,
yeah,
y'all let us know.
Yeah, we just trying to we just try to go and put the work in. That's
well, if y'all don't know that we love relationships, specifically those that are thriving and going towards marriage.
Yeah.
What?
No, I was just gonna say, and I was just thinking about that today. I'm like, my biggest pain, the area that I messed up the most in
relationships
has been the one that I'm most passionate about. And the reason that and I don't know, I'm just having this moment, but the reason why I even was hesitant to ever speak up about marriage or anything in a relationship, because people that know me know I'm not perfect. I messed up. We could go back on the videos. I had kids out with like things of that sort, right?
Yeah.
I had those things happen. So the enemy was feeding my mind. Why are you speaking? Why would you speak? You don't need to speak up. As soon as you speak, all them people, especially the ones that don't like you from where or whatever, they gonna have some ways to say this, that, and the other. Yeah, so the enemy will be trying to, just try to silence me. I knew that people were going to make subliminal shots like, y'all only been married so-and-so years or whatever. And they definitely did do that. And you didn't do this right or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, because most times you'll hear from a leader, any pastor would say, you find somebody who's done it the right way and you go listen to them. And that's a lot of times that's mainly what they say, baby. I look at a lot of pastors, I listen to a lot of sermons. Why would you take information from somebody who ain't never done it this, that, and the other way?
But we be telling people what not to do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So the thing was, I was just like, well, what's the reason for a dude that's a convicted felon get out and start talking to the kids about what not to do in the street? So we not listen to the guy who been locked up? No, he's trying to tell them what's the consequence if you go this route. You don't want to go to jail. That's what they was doing. What was that on A&E they used to have? Was it Scared Straight or something like that? They're trying to shock you into not doing that. We're scared straight for relationships.
Facts.
Point blank, period.
We really are.
Listen, I know we say it all the time. We got the scars. Don't get it wrong, man. It's been up. Yeah. It's been really up. Probably these last few years has been, for the most part, ups. Yeah. But we're talking those earlier times. We had to pay for some of those things that we did wrong. We just don't want people to go through that. And so, I just had that in my mind that just remotivated. It's the Holy Spirit, man. That's why you got to be locked in with the Lord, baby. Yeah. Like you got to be locked in with Him. It's just because I get up every morning and I pray with Him, and I'll talk to Him throughout the day, man. Make sure that you're locking, like you're really in there, Lord. Like it's me again, right? Like, okay, yeah, your son. I need double confirmation. Yeah. Like I had to tell him that I got a situation that's going on now. Like, Lord, can you double down on the confirmation? Like I know you gave me confirmation. I know you probably like, nah, come on, son. Yeah. I already showed you, but yeah, that's why you just got to be locked in with the Lord. And that's why we got to get this to you, and this next part is gonna be amazing. It's going to really bless someone.
You need help.
Yes, I'm trying to fix my equipment here, y'all.
Yeah, that's really good. I think it's a point to drive home as well. Like we're not clearly, if y'all watch us, y'all know we do not try to come. We're not coming off as perfect. Not even trying. Like we don't. Y'all see, he just busted me out for being talking bad to him in our marriage. Like we show, but that's the evidence. Yeah. And people are so afraid to show the evidence, because even those that people be pretending that they didn't have sex before marriage, they was giving hand jobs, giving head, be lying, be capping, and be capping, and it's like, y'all, okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to tell you what we did. We were intimate before marriage. Yeah. We got pregnant before marriage. We fought and we argued. It was a clash of the merge of a blended family. We did not have counsel. We was abandoned by our pastors. Like, we're going to tell y'all all of it. Yeah. We're going to give it all to you because we don't want you to go through it, but also most of y'all already have. Yeah. And so we want to give you hope that there's still joy waiting. You got to do the work.
It's grace.
Yes, there's grace, but there's hope, and you can thrive. You can. Why y'all think people can, like what you were talking about, get out of jail and they go become the next
millionaires?
Yes, like it's hope after that. Don't let people that pretend to be perfect try to tell you can't do something. Like even when they told us, they was like, well, they didn't tell us, but we were told that a subliminal shot was shot at us because they were basically saying like we can't basically speak about marriage until we hit year 10. And it's like, so I can't tell nobody what not to do.
Right.
So, I mean, does the Bible talk about, hey, don't share the gospel until you 10 years in with Jesus?
Yeah. That's crazy. And then one of our, I remember one of our YouTube mentors, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Ruslan who said it.
Yeah, he was like...
Ruslan was the one who actually said, he's like...
Yeah, they told me the same thing.
He's like, yeah, they told us the same thing. Like, it was just like...
And brushed it off.
Like, brushed it off. But a lot of times it's bad. It's what Pastor Philip be saying. It's bad. Like, he's like, I got to pull this bad doctrine from you. That last message was so big this past Sunday. Yeah. And you got to check 2819 Church. Shout out to them. Yeah. Like, listen, like... Pastor Philip was talking about that, and he was talking directly to me because when you're like soaked in bad doctrine that almost puts this pastor or something as like this superstar, like this top person and what they said, and if you went against something that they said and
you went against Jesus,
then you almost went against Christ himself.
Right.
You definitely off track now. The Lord certainly with you. I have to remove my hand from you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And that was what was actually said.
And I'm blessed, man. You know, if you need, thank God for YouTube. I thank God for people that I met that were men of God who I met through YouTube. Yeah. Like the Alan Pars and the Ruslans and so on and so forth. So anyway, that's a little tangent. But that's just something that God put on my heart because it just fell on me before we started recording.
It was great.
Let's get into this though.
Yes. So as you guys know, or maybe you don't, we love relationships. We love helping y'all and giving advice because we did a lot wrong. And because we did a lot of things wrong in the beginning of our marriage, I believe that we kind of can give some advice on.
And we did some things right. Don't get that wrong.
No, we did some things right.
We did some good amount of things right too. So.
On this list, I think we hit most of them pretty much. You know. So this segment, we want to let you know how to know if he or she is the one. How to know if he or she is the one. You might be dating someone. You might got your eyes on someone. You might be in the courting season, whatever it might be. And you're like, how can I really lock in and know that they are the one? And so we want to kind of give y'all a few points, 7 to be exact. This is not all the things, but you know, we'll be here all night long. Y'all be listening to us until Christmas. But we wanted to just kind of give some of the basics, some of the foundation. Like if you work with this, you might be all right, okay? So number 1 is attraction. I guess we can go back and forth. Yeah. You can say number 2 or all that. So, number 1.
We're going to both speak on both of them.
Of course, yeah. But like lead, or do you want me to just lead all the numbers?
You can lead all the numbers.
Okay. Yeah. Number 1 is attraction. So I want to say this really quick. I was at an event and it was a women's event and they were talking about attraction and basically saying like how important is attraction. And some of the women, we were kind of all going back and forth, but a woman was like, I mean, I that's like the least of my worries. I need to know if he's a worshiper. Do you know how to pray? And the crowd is like, yeah, woo. And I'm sitting next to my friend. I said, I don't give a darn how good that man pray. When he get up off that floor, he need to look good.
Come on.
For me to even talk to you, because the reason I asked my friend, I said, because my friend approached her husband before they got married. I said, what made you go to your husband? She was like, because he had his hat tilted to... I said, he looked good. Exactly. You didn't find out if he was a good worshiper, if he could pray, if he could speak in tongues. Like, Christians, stop making that deep. No, you need to be attracted to your husband because the 2 top reasons that infidelity happens is from finances and... what did I say? Divorce happens is because of finances and infidelity. Somebody look better. You know, somebody is doing what they really wanted. Somebody dressing how they really wanted. And so we can go deeper into that because some people just lustful. But
come on.
The main point is like, no, you need to be attracted to this person. Yeah. I done heard people not kiss their husband until they married and they was alone and y'all was never tempted
in the world. Y'all
was never tempted to kiss.
Listen,
he not cute to you, baby.
And if y'all was alone,
if y'all had
like boundaries and y'all had people that was there,
it was always groups.
Get it, definitely get it.
What? Like you had to keep me away from him. Yes, there was lust there. Yeah. We were attracted to each other. Yeah. Don't let us be alone. No, like there should be a pulling and a draw. When that woman walk by, like. Jesus.
It should be to a point you like, please don't leave me with her. No, please. No,
Get her.
hey, Johnny, I need you to stay here with us.
Bro.
Yeah, please. Can you
We gotta
stay?
go bowling.
We want to kind of chill. Can you stay right here with us? Like straight up. Like play the video game or something. But like while we talking, can you just make sure that we don't make it back there? like something like that. It gotta be if you listen, if y'all could be together and you don't feel like your freaking flesh ain't dang near leaping off of you to want to get them. Yeah, and attraction is something to you because for women, sometimes it isn't that, but for men, listen, this is why I'm also against sometimes like, some people have been hooked up because of a mentor or a spirit, a pastor or something like that, and they tell them.
I think that's only your story.
I've seen that. I was told, like one about my old pastor one time, he told me, "Hey, have you ever considered so and so?" I'm like,
he tried to hook you up with somebody.
Yeah, he did. Church. I was like, nah. He said, pray about it. In my mind, I'm thinking. I told him like, okay, cool, yeah, I will. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm definitely gonna do it. Pastor got you. But in my mind, I'm like, I don't gotta pray about that one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, nah, that ain't for me. And I've been thinking to this day, I'm like, what if I would have done that? And then think about how many, because I know how influential certain mentors can be and pastors can be. Yeah. Then when they tell you, God was telling me, or watch out for the prophets nowadays. Lord, watch out for the prophets. Some of these
everybody got a
prophets nowadays coming in telling you that I saw so and so as your husband.
My God,
have you ever talked to him?
You're gonna be married in 3 months.
And it's somebody that you don't think is attractive at all. Like that you have no man, come on now.
Jesus not gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, prophet so and so, prophet so and so. That ain't for me.
That's not my word.
Like that ain't my words. Yeah.
And even when you talk about women, like, women be attracted to your husband. Y'all. I remember I was talking to this girl. I think it was at an event, and she was like, I'm okay with a 4 as long as he can dress. And it's like, well, whatever it is for you, sis.
Whatever it is for
you, do that. Like, don't marry a, huge, out of shape guy and you really attracted to fit athletic men. Don't do it. Yeah. Like, go after what you want.
Real talk.
Number 2, love Jesus more than you. This is someone that has the evidence of actually being submitted to Christ, meaning they're in their local church. Yes. They are tithing. There are fruits of the Spirit. There's evidence that they're a believer. Not, I love God. Yeah, I love God. They're serving.
You should meet somebody serving.
Absolutely. Someone that is already, just like they say, Ruth was working. Your spouse, future spouse, whoever you're looking at, they need to be working. They need to be actually submitted to Christ, and there's evidence of it. Because a lot of times, people, they'll be attracted to someone. They'll have money. They'll have all these other things in line that we're going to list in the here in a second. But if they're not anchored in Christ, that's a lot of times where we see marriages failing. Is like, you loved her more than you loved Christ. Yep. You loved him more than you loved Christ. Yes. And if Christ is not the center of each individual's life, you are in for a disaster. So, I mean, most people would think this is number 1, right? Yeah. Make sure they love Jesus first. Now, you need to be attractive first. They can love Jesus, but if they ugly to you, that don't matter. Yeah. Nobody's ugly, but Yeah. But they need to have the evidence of someone that is actually committed and submitted to the gospel, to the kingdom, to Jesus.
Real talk. What are they listening to?
Yes.
Every time when I get in a car with them, are they listening to profanity and music all the daggone time?
Right.
Like this. I'm not saying that now you're not a believer or something like that, but you might want to call into question what is their like what's their connection with the Lord? Because if you've been walking with the Lord for quite some time, He'll start to filter some of those things up out of you.
For sure.
Okay, you're not wanting to listen to so much of profane, laced hip hop or R&B or such vulgar stuff. Or they listen to any worship music. Like I tell a lot of people sometimes, like, so you a believer, but man, I'll just challenge you to change the radio station. Change the radio station. Turn on a sermon. I mean, again, people, I didn't get to with you out of nowhere. You don't get me today if it wasn't for Namdi turning off my radio. Back when I was about 25, I started to turn my wife is always doing something on my
No,
face.
you have a long red hair.
Yeah, I got red hairs.
That's crazy.
But I got Indian in my blood.
Oh, Lord. Black people love saying that.
But before I met you, back at 25, one of my mentors told me, like, hey, like stop listening to music all the time. Mm-hmm. Turn your car stereo into a library. Yeah. And so I started listening to more self-help things, and then eventually when I got saved, I started listening to sermons. I would go to sleep listening to sermons. Mm-hmm. I literally would do that. Like I told you about that. You might have thought that was like, what was you doing? Like I would go to sleep, and when I was keeping myself, I had a while I was abstaining for almost a year. I did, and shoot, I would sit there and I would listen to different sermons by Dr. Art Vernon, and I'll be going to sleep. Yeah. So again, like you should see some of these things. You should see some of these fruits. When you got with me, what was I doing? I think I was listening to Christian hip hop a lot. Mm-hmm. With you love Christian hip hop, but it's like, okay, Namdi. Yeah. All right. This is enough. Like
time to listen to R&B,
right? Because you should see this. What are they watching? You should see some of these things that shows like, okay, like no, he really loved the Lord. Yeah, like he ain't like sideways. Like we ain't leaving church and then he rolling the blunt right away or none type of stuff. Like he's really with him, Jesus, for real. Like he's really on that, and so he or she. So you should see some of those things. You should see somebody who loves Jesus more than they will love you.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really big thing for women. Like, please, we gon' like. I think my auntie told me this one time when I wasn't enjoying the last place that we was at. She was like, "Women we gonna find our way to God. Mm-hmm. Like we gonna listen to." Certain podcasts and things that encourage us, but make sure your man is doing that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of times I feel like I see women that are with men that are less, like the men barely go to church. The men barely really in there. Like, they believe in God, but they're not really locked in. So ladies, please, for the love of God, make sure you get a man that loves God and it's evident that he's doing all the things. I mean, not all, but you know what I'm saying? Like he's just striving to be more like Christ.
And just to add to that, and it may sometimes seem like, man, we knocking on the door of the ladies. Like y'all probably like, why y'all on our head? Why don't y'all get to the men? And we do. But I've seen more times than not, I tell you this all the time, baby. It's like, man, we see a woman go astray or she's into some old crazy now some guy, she used to be a believer and now she done got with this dude and now she worshiping crystals and all types of other crazy stuff. It's because women were so meant to be led. Point blank period. Y'all were made like that. So even when you just think that you're the strongest woman ever, you in some ways can be a little gullible. Like you can be vulnerable just and open to a man, and you got to watch what is this man really on. Yeah. Especially that's why it's like when you get to sleeping with him, listen, hey, it's powering. It's empowering with some what we do. Do you so good? You have you up here worshiping? I don't know, just mess.
The atoms in the sky.
Yeah, the atoms in the sky and talking to the ancestors is who you now you like, idolize the ancestors now. You like
that thing. So yeah, I'm speaking to the ancestors. My great grandfather.
Girl, what you talking about the ancestors? Oh yeah, because Akshman said like what the hell? Who's Akshman? Oh my dude, it's like you gotta watch these. Hey, listen. Listen, a man, that thing, I'm like, dang, like, you be like, dang, that thing was speaking to her, I guess. Yeah. She done changed up everything. Like,
changed her religion
Jesus,
for that thing.
He out of here. Okay. Yeah. What are you talking about?
Who you say my God is?
Man.
Oh, okay. I'll
be seeing some of these cats on like some of these big time cats social media who are not believers, and I'll be telling you, I'll be like, man, women nowadays, they better watch out. If they anchored in Christ, they run into a dude like him. Oh, yeah. Oh, He gonna be telling them that the moons and the stars is the goddesses and the whatever. I don't know what they be talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. I know I'm messing it all up, ill-informed. But I'm just saying, you just gotta watch it because that thing will have you going a whole nother way. Sure so will. That's why we speak to the women. Y'all are so meant to be led. That could change your whole household.
Yes.
You've seen it.
And number 3, moving on, who is he accountable to? And we broke this down to who is he accountable to? Who is he submitted to? And I want to say this, and we didn't even put this down in the notes. A lot of times men are like, submit. But the Bible talks about submitting unto one another.
Yeah.
And one thing, speaking to the ladies, you want to make sure you have a man that can submit, because a leader is only a great leader because they were a great follower. A servant, you know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
A leader is only a great leader because they were a great follower. So you are seeking a husband to be a great leader. He needs to be able to submit. He needs to be able to know how to decipher, this is my moment to take the back seat. This is my moment, because a lot of times women are getting with dogmatic, I said what I said type of men, not respecting a part of you that might have a wisdom for that certain situation. You know, I think that's something that a lot of men, you know, might not maybe necessarily admire about you, because you're like, no, my wife is smarter in that area. Like, if I was smarter in finances, I would be holding the finances down, but I'm not. So nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of the creative, so I handle more of the creative stuff. We know our place, but you will only be able to operate in your fullness if you have someone, because it takes a confident man to let a woman have a moment like, oh no, you're smarter in this. So the point is, who is he accountable to? Who is he submitted to? Because that's a big part of a great character's trait that you want to have in your man. You do not want a man that can't listen to nobody, that can't follow leadership, that can't be under a pastor, that can't, you know, serve under a pastor. Like, yes, we know you have great ideas. Yes, we know you're probably a minister yourself. Yes, we know that you are maybe the next pastor. But how do you act when you're just in the parking lot? How do you act when you're just the janitor cleaning the toilets of the church? How do you act when you aren't giving a sermon? Are you still kind? Are you still a good man? Are you still loving? And so I think that's a huge part, and that's something that I admire about you. Are we able to tell our stories in the midst of this?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we try to get on time as much as we can, respect their time.
But that was a big deal for me. Like, that's something that I easily saw with you, Namdi. It's just like how it wasn't, you didn't have a power struggle with other men, and that's a big deal. It's a big deal because you will end up getting with a man that just don't listen and don't care. And these are the men that aren't as gentle as you want them to be. So yeah,
that's a lot of times why you see men not in churches nowadays. You know, the women, you be like, dang, you only see the wife, and then the husband's not there. And he believe he's smarter than the pastor.
Right.
I don't know. I ain't going there giving that man. I'm paying it. I'm basically paying his rent, and you know, oh, he got a new car, and you know, all that type of stuff. Like they don't even understand anything about submission at all. And, all throughout Scripture, you continually see men that were submitted up under other poses to Joshua to Moses. You see Timothy to Paul. You see so much of this and on and so forth. Every man should be submitted to someone. Like they should have somebody that they should. The man, we talking about the men on this one, definitely. The men, he should have somebody that you can tell on about him. Like you could tell on him to somebody. Yeah. Like, hey, Pastor so and so, can I talk to you? And he's gonna respect that man's response. Yeah. Hey, I just got through talking to I mean, we had them before, like where I was maybe not been doing something I was supposed to, and I was talking to TK, and she was telling me that, what's going on, bro? Like, you understand? And because again, I'm okay with being submitted. Now I ain't gonna be submitted to just anybody. Right. Okay, you gotta have some knowledge, you gotta have something, a track record. Yeah, trustworthy, definitely. Yes. And a track record that shows that you're successful also in your marriage in some form. Yeah. We got to be able to relate. You got to be real. Right. But yeah, is he submitted, man? I hate to see when, women get with somebody who just not submitted. He the smartest man in the world. He know how to do everything. Yeah. Negro don't know how to fix a car. He over there under the hood. Oh yeah, all you got to do is put this under the. When did you go to auto mechanic? It's a mess up and then be talking about, can you come get me? Like what? Yeah, I'll let Rodney work on my car again, girl. Okay. I'm on the side of the road. He watched YouTube. Like, no, stop letting him do that. And he don't know how to submit to the daggone mechanic, the daggone car. Stop dealing with these dudes. You just smart. You just know how to do everything. Oh no, we can. Yeah, all you gotta do is, and it's some of that is as admirable to me because I'm not handy or none of that. But some people just, it's just they should know what they're not good at. Find a man that know what he not good at, and he submitted to somebody who's better at that thing than he is. Okay, like I'm cool in the word, but yeah. Pastor so-and-so, he's even better in the word. And I'm following that man because I need some guidance, somebody who can also help me along this. He who could teach me in this. So yeah, I'm sorry, went on a tangent.
No, that's great. That's amazing. Number 4, can you marry their family? Knowing their family, meeting their mom. I don't watched, I mean, it's not a good example, but it was a clip with Krishan Rock and Blueface, and they was like, well, you know, his mama, because she don't like his mama, I think she fought her, and somebody was like, you know, Blueface mama is your kid's grandma. She was like, my kid ain't gonna be in that. And it's like, yeah, they will. I don't care how much you don't like that family, the spouse is going to, that's their family, you know what I'm saying? Like there's things that I know my family might have been wrong in, but it's way more easier for me to forgive them and to move on. Same for you. Like there's certain things that your side that I'm like, what the heck? And you like that, but that's Uncle so-and-so, that's daddy, that's mama, that's so-and-so. And so you got to know, like, you marrying their family, you know, and I know it's not like, no, you're not sleeping with these people. You're not going to see them all the time. But if their family is ratchet, broke, disgusted, disrespectful, all of that, you got to know that is what you are marrying into. You have to know that's what you're marrying into.
Yeah, I think Bishop T.D. Jakes talked about it before. He was talking about him and his wife, and he said, when we got married, what I realized, he said my mother was like marrying her honor. So whoever had raised his wife, you know what I'm saying? Like that's really what was happening. Like you were a product of your environment.
Absolutely.
I was a product of my environment when I stepped in to this thing. And so one of the things I did look at your family. I actually thought that was pretty dope. Like for instance, her family got together. I think it was almost every week or every other week.
Every Sunday at that time.
Every Sunday at that time. I can't remember. Like, hold up. Let me see this. This doesn't add up. This is going to be a lot of money if we keep doing this every Sunday.
4 kids.
Yeah, we got 4. We can't do that. You're going to have to tell the family. We're going to have to do once a month.
Yeah.
So, but again, I admired that they were close. And I mess with her. I make fun of her because they get together on holidays and they sing like all these different songs. And there's like, hey, it's kind of...
Why do you always do that?
y'all just be harmonizing. It's just real funny. But my family would like that. So I just like, oh, that's really dope. Y'all, it's a real like warm family feeling. Yeah. They got their issues like anybody else, but it was like, okay, I could deal with that. Well, from what I saw, I could deal with that. Just make sure maybe you make a visit with the family because you marrying them too.
Absolutely. And number 5, does your vision align? Does your vision align? Did I skip one?
No.
Okay. Does your vision align? Does your vision align with your potential spouse? Meaning finances, meaning I want to be wealthy. So that means I'm not doing certain things. I'm not just purchasing things, getting in debt, knowing their financial habits. Are you a free spirit? Do you spend? Do you just recklessly spend? Do you just think that money grows on trees? Are you frugal? Or do you care? Are you stingy? Are you greedy? Knowing that. Does your morals align? Obviously being believers, knowing certain standards that you have for your family. What do you want to raise your kids up to be? How you want to raise your kids? How many kids? Like vision, big picture. Does the ultimate goal, do they align? And that was something that was big for us that we knew immediately, like, oh yeah, it aligns easily.
Yeah, everything lined up. You know, we may have one has more of a strength in one area, like for instance, finance or something. We may have that, but overall, where we want it to go, like when we talked about what's our goals and our dreams, even before, I think one of the dopest things is that I found somebody who also loved music like I did. Like I wasn't making music anymore, but she was actually doing the music, and so it was just like she had somebody who could support her in that. Like if she got with somebody who was, I don't know, maybe a doctor or somebody who just wasn't in that field, they may not have known, like, why are we doing this again? Or why you got to go to the studio with so and so in them again.
Right.
And like, you know, for me, I knew it and I was okay with it. I actually enjoyed being around it. Shoot, I was her hype man. I'm still a hype man if we do a performance. That's what I'm gonna do there. But again, it's because in those areas we actually align. So yeah, make sure that you guys align in that area. When it comes to kids, how many more kids we want to have? I knew my wife only wanted one. She wanted none, almost none to one. Right? We ended up having two, but it was okay.
Yeah.
I knew I only wanted two more. So again, these things align. Make sure that they align with your vision and what you want to do.
And you also won't know that if you're sleeping together. You won't be able to get in those deep conversations. You won't be able to really dive into like the depths of doing life together for life if you're sleeping together. So please have these conversations. And that also means you got to kind of know a little bit yourself, like know yourself a little bit. Yep. Number 6, could you marry, this is a big one, could you marry their reality and not their potential? Ooh, wow. Y'all better stop marrying people being like, I know he gonna get better. He not gonna smoke. Girl, that boy gonna be smoking until he die. Don't play. Just know if you're gonna be okay with that or not. And that was something that you actually taught me, was marrying reality and not potential. And that was something I had to think through. Like, would I be okay if this man, if nothing else happens and this is just who he is? And obviously I was, but we've both grown and prayerfully that's what happens. But overall, I think the concept is not like that you're going to act like you're 22 forever, but overall, like their ways, their gestures, their type of thinking, like reality, like could you marry who they are? I think this is a big one for women because we be building men in our mind. Like, okay, he ain't got a car now, but that's okay because he worked hard. You know, I can pick him up for a while, right? So I'm gonna pick him up, and then we gonna go. I'm gonna work extra. I'm gonna work doubles. He stay home, work with the kids, and then probably like 3 months he'll be able to find a job, and then he gonna work. Girl, you building his life.
If that ain't what he want.
If that man came broke, busted and disgusted, he might die that way. And are you okay with it? So stop building people up in y'all minds. Like that's where y'all be going wrong, getting a Joe Jack that's on crack and thinking that he gonna be a pastor the next day, like or a couple years from now. So be okay with who they are. If he's an alcoholic, if he a pothead, if he's that, and just know he might not ever be anything else. Will you be okay with that? Yeah, and that's a big deal for women because y'all be really building men. Yeah. And you know, I mean, he just got saved and he might still be a baby in Christ for the rest of his life.
Yeah. You gotta. One of the things I learned that before I met you there, I think it was come from Dr. Vernon. It was good because it was like it made me stop. Had I not heard that, it wouldn't have made me stop in my single days before I was married. I was engaged.
Right.
And it was big. It was public and people knew about it and people were cheering us on, but people didn't get to see behind the scenes. I could not rub a little, I couldn't rub a little lamp and my pastor comes out and be our mediator every time. And so I was like, with this situation and what I was going through, even though I knew I was going to take a lot of, pushback, a lot of controversy would come with it regardless, I had to say, okay, could I marry this person? Like, it's not fair. It's not fair for you to do this to them. Check this out. It's not fair for you to hold this expectation of this person that you done made them out to be that they haven't signed up to be. Right. That they have not said that they want to be at all. You understand? Like you were saying, if he wanna stay at home, he wanna play video games and all that, but you see him becoming this multimillionaire running businesses, but he ain't told you nor showed you, big point right there, that's really what he want to do. Yeah. Then now you're trying to push this man into being something that he's not. You're trying to be God. You cannot be that. Yeah. Now you're playing with God. And so that's where I had to come to because it took me a long time before I heard that quote. And that quote changed my life. Don't marry potential, marry reality. Because I was like, and I did not know I was warring with the Lord. Because I had a vision for the person that I was with. Right. But that person was like, they was going to be who they were going to be. Yeah. Point blank, period. Yeah. And they wasn't changing that till they were ready to change that. And I had to say, am I ready? Am I really, if she was going to be the way she is now forever, Can I go ahead and marry her? I'm stopping somebody right now who's engaged who probably need to go ahead and break it off. It just might not need to be. Y'all still in the negotiation stages. So what? Some great people that I know, I've heard of, like Anthony O'Neill, and all, like I've heard of different people who actually was engaged and they broke it off and they are doing very well.
Right.
They had to make that change. Thank God I did that. Ooh, thank God. And no disrespect to that young lady, because what I told her at that time, I said, listen, because I knew I was doing her wrong. If you really love that person,
right.
If you really love that person, you will let them go and allow God to work on them and stop trying to be God.
Right.
Okay? Marry potential.
Yeah.
Like not marry potential.
I mean,
marry
marry
reality.
Yeah.
Marry reality.
Yeah.
Not potential.
Yeah.
Do not step in front of God's work. You cannot do it if they haven't signed up for it.
Yeah.
Don't think that they're going to be there.
That's a big deal. Like people are miserable right now because they husband is doing the same thing they did day one. It's like
he showed you that from the beginning.
You been knowing he played video games and just smoke all day. You been knowing he was alcoholic and hang out with his boys every weekend. He never took you out on a date. Why he all of a sudden gonna do that now?
Yeah.
Why he all of a sudden gonna become a man of God now?
Wait.
Why he all of a sudden gonna start reading books and because y'all know you growing.
Yeah.
He not, and he didn't show you that from the beginning. A lot of times that's because y'all be getting in those bedrooms and he be pillow talking and in your ear capping and lying and you believe it. And so marry reality.
Yes, marry reality.
And then the last one is, can you actually handle their baggage, their baby mamas, their body count? Are they a felon, past attractions to the same sex? And the reason why I want to say this really quick is a lot of times when you're in, for myself, when I met Namdi, I was 21 years old. Don't correct me, babe. I was 21. I was 21 years old and turning 22 in November. Does that make you feel better?
It's all right. I was 29. It's good.
Gosh, Lee. I was 21 and I didn't have a desire to. I didn't have a desire. I wasn't like eager to get married. I wasn't like, oh yes, I'm ready for a husband right now. Like I was young. I was just starting my rap career fully. And I was just, in my zone. But when I met Namdi, I knew that he was husband material. I knew like, I don't need to pass this up. Like this is a once in a lifetime type of thing. Right. And so when he would share certain things with me, like, oh, I got 2 baby mamas, or oh, I got this, or oh, this is going on. I'd be like, oh yeah, that's fine. I can handle it. But then I would like get into reality, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know about these 2 baby mamas. This is kind of rough. Like, this is kind of difficult. And so, like, know that you know. And I had to talk myself up to that. Like, okay, you in here. Like, okay, we're engaged. Like, you got to be able to handle baby mamas. This is something that you're putting yourself, like, really know when if you know you got a problem with a dude or with a female with a big number, don't brush that to the side. Because in marriage, that thing gonna come up even louder and it's gonna face you again. Yep. So just be sure that when you're trying to, because I feel like in the courting season and you're engaged and it's like, you just want to get to the altar, like you're infatuated, especially if you're not having sex. There's this mystery and you just end up saying yes. And it's like, then you get in there and like, dang, I actually don't like that you got a baby daddy. He actually hella reckless for us. Like, this is actually a really big problem. So really ask yourself, can you handle the baggage that all of us come with? Some form. Yeah,
some form. I believe, you definitely want to make sure that you can handle whatever it is that they came with. If they had past same-sex attraction, it's one of the things you have down here too. Like, you might want to check that out. Is homie really delivered from that? Is she really delivered? Like, I was like, when she told me about that whole deal, I was like, hold on, okay, so do you still get turned about women? Should I not have you around certain people? You
didn't seem worried about that at all.
I wasn't crazy worried about it because you didn't really show any. Yeah. Like, I seen you around.
It wasn't like I was a stud.
Yeah, it wasn't like you was still looking at women or like, hold on, like, wanting to talk to me about women. Like, she prettier. Like, it wasn't nothing like that.
Right.
But we spoke about it, and I would ask you, like, hey, are you okay with being around so and so by yourself? Or you? And you're like, what you? Why you asked me like, why are you asking me that?
I forgot.
And he was like, oh heck, no. Like you're like, no, come on now. So you need to make sure again. That's still a part of our baggage. It's still there's something that somebody could try to bring up or whatever the case may be. But again, it's been already exposed. She's already told me these things, every detail. So this is why you need to take that time to really investigate, go through each and everything. Listen, I tell people during the courting season, this is like your interview process. Yeah. You're trying to see, can they actually fill that position with you? Yeah. And then vice versa. They trying to see, okay, do you fill this position with me? Yeah. And guess what? If y'all not hooking up and all that, y'all will go separate ways and it ain't no problem. You can still see them. Ain't no funny feelings. Yep, because there's no sex. Was no sex. Like I had a season like that where I had been abstaining for almost a year. I did that. And it had some certain people that I talked to within that year. We did nothing. I remember a young lady I was talking to, and she was like, hey, I don't know if you really if we're for each other. She stopped me. And to be honest with you, I was glad she did. Because I wasn't sure if attraction wise, I knew it was for church wise, and then we went to the same church and we was on the same level as far as spiritual. It was cool. But attraction wise, I was like, I don't know if I could really long term. And I was like, good, she brought it up other than me. Huh? No, for real. I'm glad she had brought it up other than me. But she noticed some things. Yeah. She noticed maybe what I liked or, and that she wasn't that or whatever the case may be. Or she was in a season too where she was really on her path. And she ended up she ended up getting married to a great man. Great man of God. I knew him and everything. And it wasn't no funny I was at their wedding, wasn't no funny feelings, nothing big about it. Yeah. So again, but you can do that when you actually treat your brother, your sister in Christ like brothers and sisters, and you don't start hooking up and all that. So just again, make sure you can deal with their baggage and
I was just even thinking, because y'all know how we be trying to scare y'all into doing what's right. But even as you were talking, I was like, we really did that. Like we really interviewed each other. Like we really found out we found out so much about each other. Yeah. Like you were just pouring out, this is what I got, this how many partners, this the baby mama, she might act the fool, but she cool. This is that, I go to this, I've been to this, I never smoked, I don't got this.
That's a key. Even if, for some of those, you may be like, well, me and him didn't already messed around. And I'm not saying y'all should stop now, but that doesn't mean all hope is over and you need to start from scratch for somebody else. Right. Like, even though we had messed around, I was still like, okay, now we talking about marriage, like for real. Like, okay, let me make sure though, because we talking about forever. Like the percentages says, I brought these percentages to her, and I was like, based off of how many times your mama and daddy been divorced and how many times my mama and daddy been divorced, we got like a 200% chance of not making it. That's crazy. I'm like, are you sure you ready to go? Because we're going to be fighting against all types of odds. And she would explain to me whatever. So again, these are the conversations that you guys should be having, I believe, for anybody. If you're watching this and you're not a believer, take this. This should, in some way should work for you too. I hope that you become a believer and get to know Christ. But for sure. See if you can handle their baggage. Yeah, and that is it, y'all. I have a feeling that we're going to be updating this as we grow. Sure. So we'll continue to make videos. Yes. This is our first one that we've kind of wanted to make that y'all can go to and just, if you're in a relationship right now, just check them off. Like, can I marry his reality? Can I handle this baggage long term? Really? If you don't like the baby mama now, you ain't gonna like her when y'all get married. Never. So, check off this stuff. Seriously, check this stuff off. We hope that this has blessed you. For sure, y'all. We be giving this our all. We think about y'all all the time and just ways that we can bless y'all and help y'all. Listen, we notice that most of y'all don't be liking our videos and a lot of y'all ain't subscribed. So if you watching, if you keep coming back, that means you liking something. If that's just liking, looking at us, if you like this Iwebu sign, whatever it is, like the video, y'all. Push this stuff in the algorithm. Y'all, we see enough of the Krishan Rocks. We see enough of Young Miami and Diddy. We see them. Like, it's a bunch of them. Push good, moral, modest, kingdom stuff up the algorithm. And y'all do that. We don't put our Cash App in the description. We don't do none of that weird stuff. Just like the video, comment, interact, follow us, and just let people know it's a kingdom couple doing kingdom things, okay? Yes, make sure y'all follow us on all social media platforms.
Yes. And listen to us.
Yes. listen to us. Go to Spotify. Please give us a 5-star rating. If you ain't giving a 5, don't put nothing at all. But I definitely would. We would definitely appreciate if you do that on your Spotify and your Apple Podcast. And just make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, man. We need some love over Instagram. I'm just be honest and transparent.
Yeah.
Go follow us right now, The Weiboos on Instagram. It'll be major love to us, and we appreciate it. But until next time, we will holler at y'all. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you could do us a huge favor, please hit that like button and please subscribe.
Yes, and please do not forget to hit that notification bell. We need y'all to be locked in every single time we drop this fire content. Yeah. Also, we need y'all to follow us on all social media platforms at The Weiboos. And look, we will see y'all on the next video.
Holla.